What is up, God Gamers? And today we'll be doing a meta prediction for patch 13.15 of the best legends to play on day one. And if you're wondering, who am I to do a meta prediction? Well, I've been playing this game since set 1. I've been challenger in every set that I played since set 4, currently around Grandmaster ELO on the current set. And I've always been ahead on the meta. In set 4, I was a few patches ahead on the Jhin Keeper tech. I even won the Team Liquid Open Qualifier doing that. Got second place. I'll count that as a dub. Playing that. In set 6, I was 3 patches ahead on the Lucian tech. And as early as this set, I was a whole patch ahead on the Akshan tech in this set. So I'm usually pretty good at predicting this stuff. So this is where I had the legends for last patch. And also, if you want to know about my meta predictions for comps, I've uploaded that video. Make sure and check that out if you like this one as well. So these are my spots for the last patch, and I feel really good about where I put these for the last patch, but we're going to reset them now and move them around. So let's just move these all down here, and we're going to be doing our setup again. I think a lot of them will end up being around the same spot if I had to guess, with some notable exceptions. And let's just start out with my bold prediction. This is maybe it's a hot take, I'm not sure, but my bold prediction is that Caitlyn is going to be the best legend on this patch. Now, hear me out. With the Dragon King getting nerfed, whenever you get a prismatic lobby, the problem with Caitlyn right now is the prismatic for Caitlyn is quite nice for early game tempo, but your comp severely falls off because the Dragon King comps will just destroy you. It doesn't matter. You got your free forecast for free. You just get outscaled. And then I do think that Stars Are Born is already very good. Her 2-1 augment is great. Her rest of her augments are just not really that good. Maybe you can take Rolling for Days in some very specific spots. But I think it's already pretty solid. Players like Joe Bookmark has been making Caitlyn work in high elo and A, and a lot of Chinese players are playing Caitlyn right now. But I think she's going to be even better next patch because the devs really buffed a lot of the early game lines that were not as good before, like Bastion, like Kale, and a couple other lines that were not that good. Samira got fixed. Cassiopeia got buffed, so a lot of the early game lines got buffed, so it's going to be a lot easier to play Stars Are Born, because currently right now you just buy like the Bruiser and the Sork, you buy the Swain and the Sork, or you buy the Ionia opener, but now you can buy a lot of different openers, so I think she will be really strong on this patch. And if you're curious about the patch notes, I have a patch note rundown on the channel. Make sure and check that out as well. We out here, we grinding with the TFT content. Okay, up next, let's just go Urf Guy. Why not? And Urf Guy had about an A+ tier last time. I'm going to keep him at the A+ tier, or maybe even the S tier. You know what? You know, we're going to be bold on this one, and we're going to put Urf in the A tier, or in the S tier, because I think that Urf has a lot of I think there's a lot of comps that are benefited a lot from emblems. I think Zeri is going to be probably the best default comp on the patch, and I think if you play Urf with Zeri, it can be quite nice. If you get 6 Zon can be really OP. You probably have seen the Jarvan tech with the Kim tech on him. So I think there's a lot of stuff you can do with Zeri, with Gunnar, Zon, all that good stuff. Freljord emblems. I think Gwen with Shadow Isles and Slayers. Slayers got buffed. Shadow Isles should be a lot easier to play. Gwen got buffed. So I think there's a lot of comps in the meta that can really use emblems. And I think there's some Noxus. I think the Noxus comp will still be good. All the good stuff. So maybe give it a try. Maybe there'll be a Rogue tech on this patch too. They keep buffing Rogue. So maybe even some Rogue tech with this I think can be quite nice. And let's talk about Dragon King. Dragon King got nerfed pretty heavily. And I think he is now going to be the worst econ augment holder than Tahm Kench, because Tahm Kench did not get nerfed at all, the River King, and I think the River King was already pretty solid. He just was not as good as Ezreal. I think Ezreal is still playable because his 2-1 augment is very good. Just it pays to learn. Making it a free level 9 is not going to be as good, and they nerfed some of the level 9 units. But if you guys really like playing Dragon King, maybe you can do it, but I think the early game is going to be a little bit stronger in this patch. There's going to be less people looking to play Dragon King. I do think people are going to get onto the Caitlyn tech, and I think early game is going to be a little scary for Dragon King players, so I'm going to put Dragon King down at the B tier and maybe even the C+ tier. It kind of depends on what other legends people are playing, but if people are still playing a weak early game, then Dragon King can maybe go back up into the A tier because his 2-1 augments are still very strong and very good. I've been using the classic leather style wallet for the past 10 years, and mine is falling apart. That's why I was so excited to be sponsored by Exter. Exter is a premium wallet company that has the new age wallets for the modern world. These wallets are extremely durable and very convenient. No more do you have to fish into your wallet to get out your cards. Just check out the carbon fiber one. This is the one that I'm going to use. They sent me this one, and check it out. Check it out. If you just need your card, you just press the button right there. So convenient to use. I can just pull out my cards, any card that I need. It can fit about 6 cards in this top slot right here, and then you can fit additional cards on this thumb pad right here. They sent me 2 wallets. They sent me the aluminum and the carbon fiber, and I'm going to be using the carbon fiber. And now that I pulled the aluminum out of its packaging, maybe I should have used the aluminum, but I'm going to give this one to my dad. It's the same style as the previous one. You just press the button down there. The cards come out at the top. Very, very, very cool. They also sent me this air tag. So if I lose my wallet, I just have to link this up with an app, and I can find my wallet anywhere it goes. So that is very cool as well. Extra has plenty of accessories like money clips, key rings, all that good stuff. So if you want to check out Extra and you want to support your boy, then use the link in the pinned comment below, and you will get 25% off at checkout if you use promo code Trajan. But I'm so excited to be working with Extra, and yeah, these wallets are amazing, and I'm excited to use these for a long time. Let's talk about our boy Veigar. I think Veigar has had a weird spot in the meta. I'm going to put him at the B tier. I think he's the worst of the 3 combat guys. Last time I had him at the A tier, but I still don't see anybody playing him. So I'm just going to put him down to the B tier for now. But I think that he could be up into the A tier, especially if with a lot more people playing more AP comps. And maybe he's going to be really good with, like, if there's like a Teemo reroll comp or that sort of thing, maybe he'll be quite good with that or something. I'm not sure. So we're going to put him there. Let's talk about Lee Sin. I think Lee Sin is a solid choice, and they made his 2-1 augment a little bit better because they got rid of On a Roll and they replaced it. I can't remember which one they replaced it with, but On a Roll was like just so weird right now. It's way too specific to play. So I do like Lee Sin. He's very good for tempo, and I do think early game tempo is going to be quite important in this match, especially if people are playing Caitlyn and Urf and that sort of thing. So I think a lot of people have more tempo on the patch. So I'm actually going to put Lee Sin into the B+ tier. Maybe he even goes in the A tier, but I'm not sure right now. Let's talk about Brad. Brad has had a tough time. He has a weird spot. Like, his Caretaker's Ally is fine. If a lot of people are playing 2-cost reroll, like Demon Flare comps, like set the boss comps, or like Teemo comps, if there's a lot of 2-cost rerolls, or maybe people are playing 4-Rogue Zed with the Zed sub, then I think he can be really, really, really strong. But without that, he's probably just like a B tier. His other augments are fine. Like his augments are all just fine. They don't really stick out to me. But Caretaker's Ally could be very cool if there's a lot of 2-cost rerolls, but I'm not sure if that's going to be the meta. I think we're going into a 4-cost flex meta with some options to reroll. I think that's actually where the meta is going to stabilize at. Let's talk about Poro. Poro is squarely going to go up into the S tier. I think Poro will always be in the S tier. Poro is a beast. Poro is very good. And I think that's where it goes. So let's talk about, I think I'll say Big Daddy ORNN, because I think maybe that'll be the more controversial one talking about ORNN, but I'm not sure. Master Yi did get his Prismatic Pumping Up buffed, and I think Master Yi will be a lot better on this patch. I think he's already okay, but I think he'll be a lot better on this patch because I think Shurimas are going to be a lot more playable. Zeri is good with this. Aphelios is good with this. I think all the attack speed carries. Kai'Sa is a lot better on this patch. I think all the attack speed based carries are going to be pretty good on this patch, so I think that makes Master Yi feel a lot better. And with Azir being back in the meta, hopefully, that also makes Vladimir a lot better, because Transfusion with Samira, or with, not Samira, Transfusion with Shurimas is quite strong. So we're going to be putting this up here, and that is going to be nice. I think Vlad is going to be pretty strong this patch, especially if you like playing the Shurima comps. But it's just a default, especially if you have a weak early game. Other people are playing Stars Are Born. You know, you can take a lot of Transfusion losses and then be very strong in the mid game. That can be quite strong, assuming people are playing a strong early game. If you want to play a weaker early game, you can take this. That can be fine as well. Ezreal, I do think duo carries are going to be quite strong on this patch because Kai'Sa got buffed. So the Kai'Sa Yasuo comp will be strong. I think the Shurima Akshan comp could be strong. All that good stuff. So I think Ezreal does have a nice solid spot into the meta because of the he is very good for getting duo carry items, you know, Zeri and Urgot, you know, all that good stuff. So I think Ezreal can be quite strong. So let's put him at that B+ tier right there, if you guys would like to play him. Okay, let's talk about let's do Draven. Draven, I think, is going to be squarely at the C tier. I think Draven is very difficult to play, and I think a lot of people are going to be playing Stars Are Born, so that makes Draven even harder to play because the thing about Draven is you need to have a strong early game in order to play him. So maybe he actually goes into the D tier. I think Draven is going to be very hard to play, assuming people are playing Caitlyn. I really think Caitlyn is going to be very strong next match. I feel very strongly about that. Maybe people won't be playing it. Really depends on what people are playing. But if people are playing Caitlyn, I think it's going to be very difficult to play Draven because it's going to be hard to have a stronger early game than the people playing Caitlyn. That's going to be very difficult. Okay, let's talk about Pengu. I think Pengu is quite solid and maybe even better on this patch, assuming people are playing more of a stronger early game. I really do think even if people aren't playing Caitlyn, there's going to be a lot more people trying to play more tempo style because Dragon King is going to be less of a strategy on this patch. So I'm going to put him at the B+ tier. I think Pengu can be quite solid. And yeah, we'll keep ORNN for the last. I said I keep him for last. TF, I think, is still in the D tier right here. It's just very difficult to play TF. He is just not as good as Ornn, Bard, and Ezreal. I just think those are better ways to get items. I think forcing is not a very good play style. But if there does turn out to be a degen reroll build or a degen build to force into that is very strong with very particular item setups, then TF is going to be your guy. He's going to be super strong. But before any type of degen meta is discovered, I'm always going to leave TF into the D tier right now. I think next patch will be quite balanced, personally, so we'll do that. Let's talk about the River King, Sir Thomas Kench. And you know what? Screw it. Since this guy got nerfed, I'm gonna put Tom Kench into the B+ tier as well. He's not in the A tier, so I'm just trying not to, I'm just gonna cover up Lee Sin. You guys get it. I'm putting him in the B+ tier, not quite into the A tier. The reason why is because I do think people are going to play a lot more tempo early, especially if Caitlyn is strong. And if people are playing a lot more tempo early, you're going to take a lot of damage trying to play the River King. And so that's going to be a little bit of a tough of a play style. But I do think he has a spot, especially if you're playing in, you're playing in EOs or playing in regions where people are not going to be playing the early game tempo tech. If people are stacking a lot, people are playing Vlad, people are doing that. That's what turns out to be the meta. Then I think River King will be quite good. It could be A or S tier. That can be quite good there. And Big Daddy Ornn, we actually have nothing in the C tier. That's interesting. Except for Ornn. He's going in the C tier. No, I'm kidding. So Ornn got a lot of changes to his to him. He got a lot of the Ornn items were nerfed, especially Eternal Winter. I wish they would just remove that item from the game. It has been broken since they introduced it. That item's still going to be broken. They buffed Sniper's Focus, which is a very good Zeri item and a Philios item, and those comps will be quite meta. Can be decent on Azir as well, and Akshan. Akshan will still be meta on this patch. So I do think Ornn is still very good, but they did nerf his 3-2 augment, and that is actually what makes Ornn very strong, because his 3-2 augment is always super good, gives you a lot of gold. And so he's not going to go into the S tier for once. He's going to go into the A tier. If you guys like playing Big Daddy Ornn, I think still play Big Daddy Ornn. But anyways, guys, this is my tier list. This is a meta prediction. I will probably update this later in the week once we have people actually playing the patch and we can see where we're going. So what do you guys think? I feel really strongly about the Caitlyn and Urf. I actually feel very strongly. I feel very strongly about the S tier. And then I feel decently strong about the A tier. Not really sure about Tom Kench, if I'm being honest, and Bard and Veigar. Those are the ones I feel most uneasy about, but I feel very strongly about the rest of the spots where I put them. And remember, TF can always be an S tier if there's a degen comp discovered, but until that is discovered, we will not know. But anyways, that is it. I appreciate you all. I love you all. And hey, I heckin' love TFT, and this is going to be a great patch. I'm calling it right now, baby.